Well, I could see them dance every night of the week. I think they're marvelous.
Oh, they are, aren't they? But of course, walking inside any theater gives me a thrill.
Well, it's been so lovely, Tony. I'd hate to have it over.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
Oh, I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just the kitchen is enough.
Oh, why, I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Yes, we couldn't decide whether to do it Empire or Neo-Grecian.
So you settled on Frigidaire.
Yes, it's so easy to live with. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. K. An icebox full of cornflakes gives you a rough idea of the sycamores.
Of course, why they made these bottle openers for singer midgets, I never could Oh!
I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
There you are, a foaming beaker.
Oh, anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you'll please be seated.
Oh, thank you. We are seated.
A toast. To you, Miss Sycamore.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby. To you.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade one moment of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific! Haven't you ever read The Good Earth? Oh, well, I suppose I ought to go.
Is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, then I won't. When do you take your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I think I'll take mine then, too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought much about it.
Well, going away, do you think?
I might not. I like the city in the summertime.
So do I.
But you always go up to Maine, don't you?
Well, yes, but I'm sure I would like this city in the summertime if you... You know what I'm saying, Alice? I'd love it if you were here.
Well, it'd be nice if you were here too, Tony.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend time with me than with anyone else.
Was I?
And if it's true about the summer, then how about the winter?
Yes, I'd like that too.
And then spring and autumn? Well, if you could see your way clear about those, Miss Sycamore.
I might.
Well, I guess that's the entire year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well, then.
Is that you, Alice? What time is it? Oh, my goodness, Mr. Kirby! I had no idea. That is, I hope I wasn't interrupting anything.
No,
It's
Mother.
quite all right, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I just came down to get a manuscript, and then you two can, continue. Oh, here it is. Sex takes a holiday. Well, good night, Tony.
Good night, Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, I think you can call me Penny. Don't you, Alice? At least I hope so.
What's that?
That's just Father, Tony.
At this time of night?
Any time of night, any time of day.
You know, you're more beautiful, more lovely, and more adorable than anyone else I've ever met.
Don't, Tony.
What? Oh, just because your mother... Look, all mothers are like that, and Penny's a darling. Look, I'm even calling her Penny.
No, it's not that. Look, this is something I should have told you a long time ago, but I didn't have the courage. I let myself be swept away because I loved you so.
But darling.
No, Tony, listen. You're of a different world, a whole different kind of people. Well, I don't mean money or socially, that's too silly, but your family and mine, it just wouldn't work, Tony. It just wouldn't work.
All right, have it your way. She can't dance. That's why they pay her all of that money, because she can't dance.
I don't call that dancing what she does. Oh, hello. How was the ballet?
Oh, it's terrific.
Kind of.
Hello there.
Hello.
Look, what do you people think? Ed and I just saw Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Do you think she can dance, Mr. Kirby?
Why, yes, I always thought so.
What does she do anyway? Now look, Mr. Kirby, you're Fred Astaire and I'm Ginger Rogers.
Essie, please.
I only want to use him for a minute. Now look, Mr. Kirby.
Essie, you're just as good as Ginger Rogers. We all agree.
You see, Ed?
Yeah. Come on, Essie. We're butting in here.
But they've been together all evening. Good night, Alice. Good night, Mr. Kirby.
Good night, Mrs. Carmichael.
Good night. Oh, Essie, did you ask Grandpa if we could have a baby?
Oh, yes, he said to go right ahead.
Now do you see what I mean? That's what it would be like.
Oh, I didn't mind that. Anyhow, it's not going to be with your family. It's just you and I.
It's not that. It's never quite that. I love them. I love them deeply. I know they do rather strange things, but they're fun and they're gay, and I don't know, there's a kind of nobility about them.
Alice, you talk about them as if only you could understand them. Why, everybody's got a family, and every family's got those little quirks and traits. Why, my father spends tens of thousands of dollars on orchids. And my mother, she believes in spiritualism. That's just about as bad as your mother writing plays, isn't it?
It goes deeper, Tony. Your mother believes in spiritualism because it's fashionable, and your father raises orchids because he can afford to. My mother writes plays because 8 years ago, a typewriter was delivered here by mistake.
Darling, what of it?
And look at Grandpa. 35 years ago, he just quit business one day. He started up to his office elevator and came right down again. He just stopped. He could have been a rich man, but he said it took too much time. So for 35 years, he's just collected snakes and gone to circuses and commencements.
Hello there, children.
Hello there, Mr. Vanderhoff.
How's the weather? Looks like it's going to be a nice summer evening.
Yes, it's lovely, Grandpa.
Well, I'm off. Goodbye, Mr. Kirby. I've got a date with the policeman on the corner.
The policeman?
We've got a standing date. 12:30 every night. I've known him since he was a boy. He's really a doctor, but after he graduated, he came to me and he said he didn't want to be a doctor. He had always wanted to be a policeman. So I said to him, you go ahead and be a policeman if that's what you want to do. And he did. How do you like my new hat?
Oh, it's very nice, Mr. Vanderhoff.
Yeah, I like it. The government gave it to me.
Oh! I'm sorry. I didn't know you folks was in here.
It's all right, Donald.
Reba just kind of fancied some candy, and here it is. You all don't want it, do you?
No, Donald.
Thanks. Did you have a nice evening?
Yes, Donald.
Nice dinner?
Yes, Donald.
Was the ballet nice?
Yes, Donald.
That's nice.
Now, do you see what I mean? Could you explain Donald to your father? Could you explain Grandpa? You couldn't, Tony, you couldn't. I love you, but I love them too, and it's just no use. It's no use.
There's only one thing that you said that matters, that makes any sense at all. You love me.
But Tony, I know.
Shh. Darling, darling. Won't you trust me and go on loving me and forget everything else?
Tony, how can I?
Because nothing can keep us apart. You know that. You must know it. And they want you to be happy, don't they? Well, they must.
Of course they do, but they can't change, Tony. I wouldn't want them to change.
They won't have to change. They're charming, lovable people just as they are. Everything will work out. You're worrying about something that may not even come up.
Oh, Tony, am I?
The only thing that matters right now is that we love each other. That's so, isn't it?
Yes.
Well then.
Oh, Tony.
Now then, I'd like to see a little gaiety around here. There's young gentlemen calling and getting engaged and everything.
What do I say?
Well, first, you thank the young gentleman for getting engaged to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kirby, for getting engaged to me.
And then, you tell him what was it about him that first took your girlish heart.
The back of your head.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. It wasn't your charm and it wasn't your money. It was the back of your head. I just liked it.
So what happened when I turned around?
Oh, I got used to it after a while.
We're pretty lucky, aren't we?
I know that I am. I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
I'm not exactly unlucky myself. Well, I suppose I ought to go. Good night, Miss Sycamore.
Good night.
Isn't it great that we work in the same office? Otherwise, I'd have to hang around here all day.
Won't it be weird in the office tomorrow? Seeing each other and going on as though nothing had happened?
Well, thank God I'm vice president. I could dictate to you all day. Miss Sycamore, I love you. I love you. I love you.
Darling, you're such a fool.
Say, why don't you meet me in the drugstore tomorrow morning? I'll have a million things to say to you.
All right.
And then lunch, and then dinner tomorrow night?
Tony, what will people say?
Oh, it's got to come out sometime. And if you know a little rooftop, I'd like to do a bit of shouting.
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. DePinna. We did a fine day's work. That's what, 500 Black Panthers, 300 willow trees, and
8 dozen junior kitty bombers.
Yes, sir, Mr. DePina. That is most good, most... Oh, Alice, did you just come in?
No, I've been home quite a while.
Have a nice evening.
I had a beautiful evening, Father.
Oh, Alice, I want you to take a look at this new red fire. Mr. DePina, can you turn out the lights? I want Alice to get the full effect.
What?
I want you to take a look at this new red fire. It's beautiful. There. Now, isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it's beautiful. Everything's beautiful. It's the most beautiful red fire in the world.